Everyone's SDS SuperCoach, providing SuperCoach content for you. I'm here to present the round 12 review. Apologies about the hoodie. It is absolutely freezing in my room. A little bit tired, so pretty keen to go to bed. But after the lack of content I did over the past week with my SuperCoach content, you guys deserve, you guys deserve it every week, but it just doesn't work sometimes with my schedule. The Sunday night review, so here we go. I'll try to keep this as quick as I can because yeah, I have to get up at 5 a.m. tomorrow and it's 10:48. So let's get straight into it. So I hope you guys had a fantastic week. Really good week for me. The Hawks are up and about at the minute, so that's always really good. And like I hope everyone did pretty well in Supercoach because I think we did pretty solid, I guess. Once again, we haven't really had one of those elite weeks of the season, but we've just slowly been climbing up the ranks for the past 5 weeks now. So scored 2013, and we're now inside the top 4%, so that's good. And our season rank now is 7,933, so we're inside the top 8K, so that's promising. Team value is not looking too bad, actually. I think a couple of my rookie picks as of late has certainly paid off. I mean, obviously the Richards injury was very unlucky, but just blokes like Sullivan and McAuliffe, sort of guys I started with at bargain basement, have just turned into some decent cash cows at the minute, so that's super promising. We got 7 out of 12 league wins, and we got 3 trades out of 13 remaining. So 3 trades heading into this week. Obviously, due to the buy round, only 13 trades left is a little concern. So we've used 27 out of a possible 40 this season trades heading into this week. So let's have a look at the quick rundown here because we are 4 primos away heading into this week until completing our side. But I think now I need to start getting the mindset of, yeah, I'm gonna need a 23rd guy. So if I have to go down to 3 trades, bit of money in the bank, and a 23rd premium guy that can cover 1 week, 2 week injuries for the rest of the season, because realistically, we've probably only got, so what is it, heading into round 13, 14, 15. We've probably got a month or less until we've sort of finished wrapping up with our trades. I feel like I haven't increased my screen there. Sorry about that. So I don't know. So basically, I'm going to bring in a. I might bring in a pod this week in the midfield, but I'll just have to give it a bit more thought. So what were our trades last week? We got rid of Sweet and Darcy and Sam Darcy to get in Frazier and Matt Rouse. So those were the trades that we did, and I was contemplating all week, do I go Rao? Do I go Merritt? It took me like 3-4 days to figure that out, and I was still questioning myself until the final 5 minutes before Gold Coast and Essendon started. But I landed on Rao, cheaper price. Feel like he has more hurt factor. I think Merritt's been. Don't get me wrong. I really want Merritt in the side, but it actually does seem like I'm going to be betting against him a little bit unless I don't go with this bloke I'm going to bring in this week and maybe opt for a defender who've come off their bye. So I'll have to give it a bit more thought. But yeah, so we'll see how we go. We'll do a quick review of the side. I'll do as quick as I can. So we vice captain Nick Dacos and our backup captain was Sarong. So very happy about Nick Dacos just relieving the stress there. It was looking like he would have been a better pick than Bont up until 3/4 time. Then Bont had this 80+ point fourth quarter, which was just, don't get me wrong, I'm very happy with the 156, but yeah, I think I lost a fair few points on that because I felt like about 50% went Dacos vice captain and 50% with Bont. Not all up in the competition, but if they were VCing that night, it was like 50% Dacos, 50% Bont. So look, I'm very happy with the 156. Really, the aim for captains every week is you can't afford to have an absolute stinker captain. So basically, the aim should really be You just get 100 plus with your captain each week at an absolute minimum, and then you're sort of settled. So, yeah, pretty happy with Nick Dacos with the vice captain there. He even got tagged with Harvey Gallagher, so very happy with that. Young and Ryan were really good. So 124, very solid. Didn't Melbourne get absolutely destroyed today? That was very disappointing of them. And they're just slowly yeah, just worse and worse as the seasons go by at the minute. So it'll be interesting for them with the fallout. Closey 47, trash, terrible. Um, I know a lot of people are probably going to trade him out this week, but he has only got a 70 break even. So I'm just like, I think I'll hold again. Gold Coast bye is next week, to my knowledge, round 14. Yeah. So I'm going to trade him out next week. Yeah, I'm going to trade him out next week. So I'll trade him out just to get some more numbers on the field. Probably same with this bloke, Will Graham, 45. Just hoping he doesn't get dropped. I mean, Dimmer has shown he's not scared to swing the axe a bit, but yeah, it was good to get him back, but holding him all this time for him to score a 45 is a bit frustrating. But just happy he's back and hopefully can keep his spot on the side for just one more week. Just need you for one more week. This Saints matchup is lovely. So yeah, Young 3 tons in a row. Very happy with that. Luke Ryan's just an absolute pig down back. So that is good. Sheasel and Fisher with the bye. Bontempelli went huge. This is one of the highest scores of the season, 186. So if you did vice captain, you'd be very, very, very pleased with that. And just, yeah, took over, did what a captain should do for a footy side. And yeah, just proving he's still one of the best Supercoach players in the game and obviously one of the best just general captains in the AFL there. Zach Butters has had a poor few weeks, I feel. Oh, not poor, but yeah. Even with that Hawthorn game, he had a massive last quarter to get that score. I think it was on like 65 at three-quarter time. So yeah, a bit of a slowish few weeks for Butters, but that's all right. They got the bye this week, so he's probably just wants to refresh and hopefully a strong second half of the year for Butters, as he's been one of my best picks this season. Caleb Sarong again, another average score for him. Yeah, so when did I bring him in? I brought him in here for the Swans game, and I paid 668. So, and he's dropping a lot in money. He'll be low 600, so good target. What's his break even? 170. I mean, you could even wait after his buy and then just grab him at a pretty good price. What's Freo's run coming up? The Dogs are tough. Suns are tough. Sydney are tough. Gee. Yeah, so you could be able to get him at like 600K in a couple of weeks. So jump on that if you don't have him. Dawson, well, the talk was him of potentially being a laid out for Adelaide, but he did play, but it definitely didn't look like it was 100% himself. So hopefully, he'll just be hobbling to the bye. They've got the bye next week, so I think the bye can't come soon enough with Dawson. Hopefully, he is all good this week. Although 5-day break, there's a chance he could be out. Because he really was a test for the game against Hawthorn. But yeah, just hope that Dawson can just play one more week. Then he gets a nice big rest and hopefully a strong second half of the year for him. But I don't know. I think realistically, in my opinion, I think he's still been good trading, but this score obviously hurts. Was he out of my? I had 20 players playing this week, so did he fall out of my score? No, it would have been Closey and Graham. Yeah, that hurts. Yeah, that last game of the round was pretty brutal for me, to be honest. Um, yeah, he's got Richmond this week though, so hopefully he can just put in a good shift there. Oh no, sorry, he's got the round 15 bye. Yikes. Gee. Would have been handy for Adelaide for him to have the bye in round 14. Rao, 111. Yep. Brought him in this week. I think there was a couple of things I was weighing up. One, I was very worried about Merritt being tagged by Chin Cotter heading into this week. And I think Rao just can have a high ceiling. Like we've just seen Merritt just sort of take a back step a little bit, let the younger midfielders develop while they've been winning games. So, yeah, Rao was just. I decided to go with Rao, and also I did some mathematics and all that stuff. It does seem like the Suns have a better run home than Essendon in terms of midfield matchups. So just thought I'd go with that. And any injury that comes into my midfield, Zach Merritt will come straight in, whenever the case may be. Walsh 111 against one of the tough midfield matchups. I'll take that. He had a ripping game. Did butcher the ball a lot early, but certainly saved his score there with 111. Sullivan 61, a little bit disappointing, and same with but it's not that bad. McCall, if this was disappointing because he was on like 65 at half time, then only finished on a 68, did nothing in the second half. So hopefully he just stays in the side. Just need him for one more week, then I might actually. Oh no, sorry, they got the round 15 bye, don't they? Okay, so hopefully two more price rises out of McCall, then I'll look to move him on. Heaney and Green with the bye. Rogers is dead. Gore 95 disappointing, as it was for the whole Melbourne Football Club today. So yeah, hopefully he can just bounce back. He's got Collingwood. Hopefully the calf doesn't affect him too much. Tim English 131. Good to finally get a good score out of this bloke. I've had him for a month. It's been bloody frustrating. Bought him for the Richmond game, and he's just done nothing for 3 weeks. Puts out a good score against Collingwood. Looked much better this week. Livingston, obviously, my loophole. Sam Flanders, 119. I think there was an early part of the game where he did get a little ankle roll, but he seemed to be all good. And I still believe I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure his ton run's still going strong. Yeah, he's been one of the best, most consistent Supercoach players this year. Luke Jackson, 98. Considering it was at nearly 100 point belting, and he's a key forward and still didn't turn up is a little bit worrying. But I think the plan for him will be he'll move to F7. I'll probably loop him with another forward if my side's fully healthy, and yeah, just see if he scores all right. But yeah, he's handy for ruck cover, but I wouldn't be rushing your way to get him unless you really do prioritize ruck cover there. Darcy Wilson, 54, very disappointing. Big news with Harley Reid, by the way. I mean, he got a 2 week suspension, but yeah, Wilson's been one of the best cash cows of the season, probably the best behind. I wonder if Jeremy Sharp's been a better cash cow. Probably Jeremy Sharp has probably been the best cash cow of the year, but he is number two. But I think it is time for a lot of us owners and me to say our goodbyes to one of the best rookies of the year. So it'll be sad to let him go, but I think his time is up, and you don't want to fall in love with rookies. With a 98 break even, yeah, he has to go. He'll drop nine. He'll drop 9 more K. Sorry, 6 more K even if he scores an 85. So time for him to go. How about this with Ollie Dempsey though? Bang! One of the highlights of the week right here. 122. Super pleased with that. After a horrific score against the Giants, good to see. Bit more luck go into my favour this week with Dempsey. They actually just used his wing this time. It just feels like some of these Geelong games where they just don't use his side, the wing, but now they finally used him. So that's very promising. So very happy with that with Dempsey. And he's got the round. What bye does he have? He doesn't have the round 13 bye. What bye does. Oh, no, sorry. He has the round. Wait, what? Why does it say. Oh, no. Oh, sorry. I'm tapped on the wrong player. He's got the round 14 bye. I wonder if I could hold him as cover. I might need his money. I don't know, but maybe a trade at round 16 because he's got a bit more cash to make. I mean, just a couple of 70 scores and boom, he's he's going to make an extra 40, 50K. So that would be super handy if possible. So he could be a bloke I hold as cover because I do think Geelong really rate him, and I think a lot of the AFL world does. So I don't think he's in any jeopardy of losing a spot. I think it's his to lose, really. I mean, I think he's clearly best 22. Joel Frazier we brought in this week after the Joe Richards debacle. 176K we got him in for. He scores a 66. It's fine. I think he shows good signs for the Dogs and probably a guy we move on at his buy in round 15. Hugo Garcia, I just don't think he's getting his way back into the side, to be honest. Maybe a guy could be a guy we probably hold from here, but I'm not too sure. I might need his little money that he's made there. Zorko had the buy and Richards is injured. So let's quickly talk about trades, vice captain, that sort of thing. I'll go through my leagues. I'll go through sort of my plan, that sort of thing for the rest of the year. So, all right. Pardon me. So I think Darcy Wilson has to go. I think break even too high. Don't really want to trade out another player that is playing week on week at the minute. So I think we'll get rid of Joe Richards here just because we know he ain't going to play. And I mean, you could hold him as cover. Is he best 22? I'm not too sure. I mean, when the whips are cracking with Collingwood, I think they know they're best 22 and have some guys they rely on more than Richards. So here's what we're going to do. I'll lose my mid forward loop here. So that's frustrating. And it really just shows how in desperate need I am to bring in a defender. But not the time just yet, although it could be. I'll have a look at some round 12 defender options because I kind of don't want Nick Martin. I think I'd rather just bet against Nick Martin at the minute. I think Ridley's hurting him. I think he's moving up the ground a bit more. He's butchering the ball still. So I was planning on getting Nick Martin. I think I'll bet against him. If Dawson's playing, that would be ideal because he can be my defender forward loop for the year, and just hope North can keep persisting with him. If he's playing, that would be just perfect. Then right here, I'm actually going to get Errol Goulden. Sorry, Errol Goulden to finish off my midfield. Just because I think with just sort of the attention that Warner and Heaney will get from this point forward, I think some people will forget about Goulden. And I do think Errol Goulden as well. I think he is a guy where he can he can deliver some massive scores. Obviously, he can deliver some bad scores, but I don't know, just a bit of a pod to try and leapfrog myself up in the ranks. And I think he is pushing into some stoppages sometimes. So yeah, I think that's how we'll end things. I mean, in the midfield, like he did 110 last year. I don't see why he can't do it again. Obviously, the obvious missing piece here is Zach Merritt, who I'd definitely love to have, but I think at 535K for Goulden, that's too good to refuse. But Merritt is dropping in price a little bit. I mean, not too much. I mean, I think his break even's still 130, but he might cop the Chin Cotter tag. So yeah, it's pretty interesting to see what I could do with if I end up going with Zach Merritt. So let's just sort out this side. Sheasel. We'll just swing Fisher into the forward line because at the end of the day, I want him to be a forward. Young and Ryan on the bench. Yeah, 5 primos out this week once again will certainly hurt me. So that's a bit scary. Garcia, I just know probably won't play. So Rogers won't play. And we know Livingston won't play. So just whoever out of many of these guys will play will be the amount. Ideally, if I can have 20 on field each week, I think that's a good sign. So I think that's the aim during the bye rounds. So see how the side's currently looking with 11 trades to go. So 3 upgrades to go, 2 in the back line, 1 in the forward line. But to be honest, I kind of want to get. So the idea is for my 23rd guy, don't get me wrong, I would love Connor Roger, but I think the DPP bloke, like a mid forward, would certainly be better and put Jackson here. just so I have the ability to potentially cover all these certain spots. So like with Rosie, for example, if I have my midfield locked and loaded, I mean it can only replace a midfielder, where like compared to a mid forward. Also, I do have this ruck forward loop here, so just in case English gets hurt, I can swing Jackson in there, which would also mean my other forward here can come on field. If we get a defender injury, we'll have this, ideally this Fisher Dawson loop. If Dawson gets dropped, hopefully that Richmond bloke, 102K bloke, what's his name? Campbell Gray. If he can get named, that would be fantastic. So yeah, that's just sort of the thought process. So I'll have to have a look at some mid forwards because I'd love to have a 23rd guy like that. So ideally it would have been maybe someone like Dylan Moore, but I think he's just going to be a little bit too expensive. So I'll have to have a look at the market. Probably ideally a guy under 450K, that sort of thing. So because ideally I want to be on 3 and 4 trades after my team's done with a bit of money in the bank, just so I can be flexible with my moves. So say like, I don't know, what's a good example? Um, like Fisher gets injured, for example, I actually can't do much with that. But if I can have like 100K in the bank, then all of a sudden that's like 600K in the bank to work with. So as you can see, Butters, Sarong, Goulden, Green, Walsh, Rao, Bont, and Dawson. Obviously, the missing factor is Merritt, but we're just going to have to hope not too many of these spike scores will come from him and just hope that he can just sort of keep playing the way he's playing. Like, if he can go in between 100 and 120, I'm fine with that. So, but don't get me wrong, I definitely want Merritt, but just not the way it's helping my side at the minute. So, we had 2 defenders and a forward. Let's have a look at the market. So, if I don't go Goulden, I could then get Merritt when he's ready. So probably after his bye. But I really don't like many of these guys in coming out. I mean, the only one I like is Nick Blakey, but once again though, like this defender line, I think in my opinion is a bit of a shambles. Like I don't really know what to go. Like as weird as it sounds, I don't really want to go Jordan Clark because I've already got like 4 Freo Primos, so don't really think I want to go there. Dan Houston's a guy, not after his bye. I don't think after his bye I'll grab him, but um, because of this break even. But I do think he's definitely a guy I will be adding to my side at some point. There's a chance I'm not even upgrading next week, to be honest, because yeah, the Houston high break even sort of thrown a spanner in the works. Always the plan was to add him in after his bye, but we all know Supercoach is a very random game and things can change, that sort of thing. Um, I think I'd rather go against Nick Martin, to be honest. Wanganeen Miller, I'm a bit too concerned with if Sinclair goes back into defence and Bonner stay in the side. I mean, Miller's doing just fine, but although they do have that Marvel run, so maybe he is the guy. Don't know. I'll have to give that some more thought. Jeremy McGovern, too injury prone. I think he is a top 6 defender when healthy, but I think I'll just bet against that. Ridley, no. Houston, yes. And then it's just deciding who on earth I want after this. Sinclair, barely any preseason. That concerns me. Nick Blakey's interesting. So I could go him this week and don't know. He's interesting. Is he any better than Nick Martin? No, but I don't know. I don't know if I want this. Yeah, he'll cop a McEntee tag right here. I don't know about Nick Blakey. I could go down that route if I want to. Holmes is interesting. Doesn't really work with my buys at the minute, so he's probably a skip. Blakey's interesting, probably the most interesting for me. Whitfield's a pass. Sicily, I'm too worried about Hawthorn doing some weird shit with him later in the year, being a forward, that sort of thing. Is his shoulder all good? Stewart's a definite pass. I'm not touching that. I think he's just about cooked. Could you go Ed Richards? Probably not. I mean, I think you can if you want to. That's interesting, Ed Richards. Hmm. I could go Blakey this week, which means I could still get Zach Merritt. That's interesting. Instead of getting Goulden, but I like Goulden as a pod more than Blakey, that's for sure. So I guess the question is, would I rather want Blakey and Merritt or Goulden and someone else? So something I'm gonna have to think about there. Um, there's a forward. I mean, let's have a look at some of these forwards here. Like, are any of them I want? Like, who is there a guy that's gonna come down in price and be like my 23rd guy? Depends how cheap some players get. Rankin, I want this guy to be my last forward, ideally. And then I'm worrying about someone else. Dylan Moore's going to be too expensive. Sexton can piss off. Can this pick die already? I can't believe I trade him out in like round 3. And he's giving 36% of super coaches a ton when he was dead for 7 weeks. That's so annoying. Travis Spoke. Nah, can't trust that body. Hard. Oh no, sorry, I'm doing 3 round average by accident. Kerno, no, I think I've already got a key forward in Luke Jackson to worry about there. I don't mind the idea though, but just the inconsistency will drive me up the wall. Um, Hogan, nah. Myers, no. Moore's, yeah, I like Moore. Obviously, he's a Hawthorn man. There is one guy if he gets cheap enough. Yep, this is interesting. Shy Bolton, 410k. As I said, I'm probably looking for a guy under 450k ideally. I don't know. He's interesting. He has 6 and already like a 23rd best averaging forward. That pisses me off. Tracy's been a great pick this year. Been well, not a great pick, but you know what I mean. McRae, don't trust it. He scored 101 by kicking 2 goals. Don't want to do that. Yeah, it might be Shy Bolton, maybe just as that 23rd guy, but once again, this inconsistency would get me so frustrated. Look at this crap. Look at this crap. Total, total crap. I don't like that. Can score well against some pretty average sides. I mean, can score well against the Hawks. I mean, he's got the Hawks here. He's got Adelaide, got the Saints, got the Roos here. So can get some big spike scores there, but just inconsistency. So maybe a guy like Jack McRae. Could you go Perkins? Nah. Fife, no. Not many people own Fife anymore. Lipinski, nah. What about 3 round average? I know I already looked at that, but going on a bit of a kick tangent here, but you guys get what I mean. So I'm just having a look at some options. Let's quickly have a look at leagues, and then I'll have a look at the most traded in, most traded out players. So the SDS SuperCoach League. So I beat Tanty's Hotshot Adam. So shout out to him. So as we have a look at the ladder, currently 10th. I've won the SDS SuperCoach League back-to-back years. Looking for a new champion, and I think there's every chance that we do get a new champion because this league's looking bloody good. Shout out to everyone that joined this league. This league's looking bloody juicy. I'll tell you. Zane inside the top 1K. Jackson steaming home into the top 1K. Chance Harry gets in there. Just a bad week for Ben, but I'm sure he can claw back. Stevens around the mark. Shout out to Anthony Caminiti. I'm playing him in this league this week, so shout out to him. He is an absolute legend. Good win for the Saints there. Spills is in there as well. Glad to hear my brother's going a bit better now. Yeah, just a couple of guys letting the league down, but that's all right. And then obviously not in a bad way, guys. I mean, I know you're trying your best. Shout out to Causa, the ladies man. He's an absolute beauty. Just a really good Supercoach community man. as we have a look at the SDS times Pro League. As I've said a few times, this is a bit of a struggle because I've added a few mates and three of them have given up. So I'll make that adjustment next year. My apologies, Brad. Added a few of my mates, but shout out to Tom, who's another one of my mates, and he is sitting nice and pretty. He's not far off the top 1K. Had a disappointing week, but that's all right. Brad's just ahead of me in the ranks. I mean, not just ahead. He's what 100. What is that? 95 points ahead. So shout out to him. Um, yeah, yeah. The leagues are looking very tidy. So yeah, I'm struggling a little bit more in leagues this year because of my not as good season as last year. So let's check out the most traded and most traded out players for this week, and I'll give a quick review on them, and I think we'll wrap things up here because probably going long enough. So, and I need to go to bed. All right, so Sam Closey, I don't see any issues with people getting rid of him, but he's literally got the bye next week. I'm holding for one more. He's got the Saints. Saints are good to score on, so I'm going to keep on to him for one more week. Darcy Wilson, I think his time's up. 98 break even. Like, nah, time to go. Time to go. Sam Darcy, I mean, I'm pretty sure he got. Forgot to check out. I'm pretty sure he's getting suspended anyway, so probably his time to go. Um, Even before this week, he got a good score this week though. Jordan Sweet gone. He ain't coming back with Solo on the side, so he has to go. Harley Reid, suspended for 2 weeks, now ruled out of Rising Star. So very disappointing for the young man, but pretty disappointing act from him there on the weekend. Um, he's missing 3 weeks. So, I mean, I know the suspension's 2 weeks, but plus the bye. So, I think he is a trade. I don't see him as a keeper, to be honest. Graham, just hope he holds for one more week, but I don't see any issues people trading him. But remember, might need a guy like him this week if you're struggling with this bye. But the good thing with this bye is that there's only 2 teams that are having the bye, so we've got another 8 games. Hugo Garcia, I don't see any issues if you need to get rid of him. Joe Richards, no issues with that whatsoever. Riley Garcia, he's definitely been a much better pick than Rogers. Garcia can probably hold for another week. There might be more pressing issues. What's Sharp's break even? 79 still. Bloody hell, he's been a great pick. Been the best rookie this year, in my opinion, ahead of Darcy Wilson. Probably about even because they've made roughly the same money, and both at the time when people should be moving him on. So yeah, Sharp's fine. He's fine to move off if you want. Don't fall in love with your rookies, fellas. Will Dawson, if he gets named, totally understandable. But if he doesn't, then that's when we hit panic stations. And hopefully a debutant comes in for Richmond like that. Jacob Blight or Campbell Gray. Zach Fisher, perfectly fine with this. This was sort of the plan I was thinking about, but picked him up the week before his bye. I think he's a good pick. Ridley, you can go there if you want, but he's a pass for me. Zorko, what's his break even? Yeah, I think it's fine to grab him now. He's got the Dogs and the Saints, two really good matchups coming up for defenders. Heaney, break even, 137. Yeah, he's got Geelong. Geelong are pretty easy to give up points to, so I don't see any issues with that. Picking up Heaney if you don't have him already. Warner's a bit hot and cold for me. I can understand the hype around it, and don't get me wrong, I think he's a brilliant player, but yeah, I just think he's that type where he can do this sort of stuff, then drop a few sub tons. So just keep that in mind. I'm not going with Warner this year. Definitely down the line in the future. I love watching him. Lachie Neale, the age concerns me. That's the only thing. Like some little niggles here and there he's had throughout the year, but as we all know, he's a proven premium. So, but just not for me this year, I feel. Lachie McNeil, this will probably be the people will go down to if Will Dawson gets dropped. Um, I think a lot of these rookies that we pick from this point forward, by the way, are going to be guys where, sorry, I think maybe Lachie McNeil's an exception because you can get 2 price rises out of him. So he might be able to make you a quick 100K and then you flick him, but could be a bloke that sits in your forward line. Dylan Moore, yeah, he's got the buy in around 15, but I don't see any issues with that. I mean, he's around the mark of the top 6. So then Leclerc, but do remember Jack Buckley is coming back very soon with a calf injury. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys had a good week in Supercoach and hope your footy side won. Really appreciate all the support. Apologies for the lack of content last week. There was a few things going on. I was on Fancast with Coach Cole. Shout out to Coach Cole and the Fancast crew. And I was on Footy Mailbag with Damo. So shout out to Damo and the Footy Mailbag podcast. So I was with that if you guys didn't see me much on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys are going well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys have a good week.